Hey, so welcome to our Monday Night Live. Let us begin with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we want to give you thanks for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to meet with your precious children all over the world. And we ask, dear God, that you continue to be with us now as we seek to learn more and understand more about food and how we can best put it together to nourish our bodies. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so we're looking at healthy plates for optimal health. And that's really important because a lot of times what folks put on their plate may or may not be best suited for that optimal health. And it's because, say, for example, folks might say, well, I'm eating plant-based. And then when you do take a look across at the plate, they're wondering, it is potato, but what, potato fries? Then that's not something that's going to be beneficial to you because of the way in which it is prepared. So potato, yes, but potato fries, no. I just want to welcome some folks. I'm seeing Sister Amy John. How are you doing, Sister Amy? I thought about you this week. Cynthia Phillips. Hi, Sister Phillips. Josephine John. Juanita Hunter. Catherine Yates. Oh, like I'm doing a roll call here. Hi, Sister Peggy James, hailing us all the way across the sea. Sister Ramin, welcome. Sister Weena, Shorna, and Sabrina. A lot of ladies. I'm looking for some men. Okay, so tell the men come out. They're probably there in the background. Wonderful. So, all right, let's go. I'm Dr. Natalie Nash, speaking to you from Pure Wellness Lifestyle Center. And today we just concluded our session here. Not today, but by tomorrow, we would have concluded our segment for December. You may have seen it being advertised. And let me just share with you what, oh, I know I have it, so I can just tap the screen and pull it up, what people have been doing on my head. Okay, so this is a little sneak peek. I know they still have some more photos to send to me, but this is a sneak peek of what's been going on here. Over the past 10 days, we had what you call transformation, 10 days of transformation, really transforming the body and the health of individuals. And we had guests here at the center, and they participated in several activities where they learned. We also had the educational sessions, and they learned about how to take better care of themselves and how to eat, all the principles of eating. Why do I have acid reflux, and how easy it is to overcome. So we're just gathering some of the testimonies, and we'll be able to share that with you shortly. And I'll wait for them to testify for themselves. All right, so that's coming up. Look forward to seeing that in the chat in the next coming days. But I'm just going to play this little video clip, and this will give you an idea of what we've been doing. Okay. All right. So hope that shares a little bit about what's been happening here. And they're quite excited. Lives have been really transformed as we prayed and hoped that the Lord would have blessed. And he always, he holds out, standing sure and firm, and keeps his promise to bless the lives of individuals as they seek to live healthier. So let's get straight into our topic of discussion and the optimal diet. Yep, that's what we are discussing, the optimal diet. So man's original diet, when God put together our diet, he told us exactly what we needed to eat, and he provided all that we needed to eat in order to nourish this body. And when we think about our body, it's important what we put in to get the best value. You know, some time ago, it was it's not even a year, a couple months ago, I took my vehicle into the service center. Why? Because I was driving my vehicle and I felt like some jerking, sort of like forward, like a sort of, like a coughing kind of sensation with the vehicle. So I got really scared and I said, wow, like a tremble. So what's that? And I noticed, like if I'm accelerating now, about to accelerate, and I'm sort of like just moving slowly, I'll get it. I ignored it the first time and then it happened again. So I said, something is definitely wrong. And I did take it into the service center. And you know what? When they assessed, they said, ma'am, you've been using the wrong fuel. I said, really? They told me I was using, what were you using? I said, super. You're supposed to be using premium. I said, okay, well, nobody told me that. So then I had to switch to premium, which was fine. But the thing is that they had to go and clean out the injectors. And I had to leave the vehicle there for overnight because it was an all-day event and they had to prepare for it. And so I had to leave it and they cleaned the injectors. And when I got the vehicle back, everything worked brand new again. So I was really happy. Now, do you think that I would go back to putting that super gasoline in my vehicle? Absolutely not. I'll continue with premium and always remember it's premium that goes in there because I didn't like the feeling that I got what that vehicle gave to me. I thought I would shut down, at any time. Why is this happening? It's not getting power. And that's the same thing with us. Our bodies were designed. It was manufactured, made in a superior way that we go for the optimum level of foods to put into our bodies. And if we were to go for the super type foods, and you would see what some of those are, it lends itself to disease. And we end up breaking down our bodies and we don't function well. Our mind is not clear. We are not sharp in our thinking, which that happened during our time here with some of our individuals. They thought that they needed improvement in their memory. They indicated, that they had some memory issues, and we sort of got some evidence of that. At the start, you can identify, yes, some memory issues. However, we've been using the brain booster. Do you remember we shared that recipe some time ago, some months ago, the brain booster, and their mind has been opening up and their brain is clearer for it. So we want to give God thanks that he's provided seeds and nuts that has nutrients in them to help every aspect of our bodies, even the brain. So when we go to the history book of Genesis, in the first chapter, verse 29, it says, and God said, behold, I've given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Our fruit, the seeds, is our meat. It didn't say our fish and our cheese is the meat. It says fruit and seed. Okay, that's our meat, that's our food. And in Genesis 3:18 goes on to talks about, and when we say seed, we're going to look at that. Seeds are like your grain is a seed, your legumes are seeds. So it's not just pumpkin seed, flax seed, no, it's more than that. All right, so your grain, your legumes, and then you're looking at your fruit, your nuts and seeds as well. If you would think about a cashew nut, the cashew nut grows and it's in a hard shell, and you've got to break that shell to get the nut inside. Think of a walnut. It's in a hard shell. A Brazil nut, it's in a hard shell. The seed is on the inside, okay? So when these are the fruits, what about the vegetables? Genesis 3:18 says, thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. So, after sin, the field had food growing. Look at all this nice bok choy, or some would say pak choy. And this is a real garden. You know, some years ago, I took out this picture, and that's food. It's green, chlorophyll. It can help to improve your blood level and give us calcium and help us to be strong. So we want to use food therapeutically. Use food in a way that when we eat it, we know we're nourishing the body that would lend itself to health and healing. If you want to find healing, we got to make decisions and make choices. So let's look at a couple, the grains and examples of grains that you can incorporate on your plate. And so we're looking at brown rice, wild rice, red rice, black rice, all of these you see there. Then you have corn, you have oats or barley, and you know you have oats and like oats flakes, and you also have barley flakes. So you can, for your cereal, you can have options. You can also do millet or quinoa. You can make a quinoa porridge. You can, you know, I'm just thinking about breakfast for some folks. But you can have these varieties, any of them, buckwheat, amaranth, quinoa, any one of them you can cook and eat. Cook them nicely. When I say that, sometimes the wild rice, red rice, and so forth, they have a little fiber on them, and that's fantastic because when you eat that, you're going to be fuller for longer. Here at the center, I had someone, and before the person arrived, I was told that he would have like about 5 or 6 meals a day, and I said, wow, we can't, you know, keep up with that. So what do you think? We are going to serve our 2 meals and see how the person you know, how things work out. Do you know from the very first day we served the individual 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, all in between breakfast and lunch. So breakfast at 8, between 8 and 9, then we have 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock would be the lunch, 5 hours in between. The person never asked for a snack or a meal or anything in between. Yeah, day after day, no. Well, the custom is to have something for supper, so we give something very light, a little cup of oatmeal, you know, some fruit, some apples, just something very light and not anything heavy. One slice of toast with some pumpkin, stewed pumpkin for supper. And very light, nothing heavy. So that individual had absolutely no problem in cutting down on the frequency of eating, which is not a healthy thing. So one day we're going to talk about principles of eating, and I'll show you a nice graph. that tells you when you eat food too close together, what happens in the system. All right, but for now, let's look at the plate. So the point is the little fiber on the food tends to hold you out for longer, gives you that sense of fullness so that you're not hungry. If I were to visit someone and they gave me what quote unquote white rice, I am going to be definitely hungry in less than 5 hours. And that happens to a lot of people. That's why they can't understand how we can space out the meal so long. You see the picture of the pizza earlier. When we went to the beach last Thursday, we had that pizza for breakfast. Okay, now the bread for that pizza was prepared, I want to say created as well, because it's a composition of seeds and root items like dasheen and yam and other root items that's in that bread. And then some nice organic whole wheat flour to help with binding everything. And that bread literally feels heavy. It's a lady from my church who makes it. So if you're wondering, the bread feels heavy. And when you get a slice of that bread, it holds you up. So the morning we were hustling, getting ready. It was just after 5, and because we wanted to head out early to have breakfast on the beach. You know, it's a nice, good thing, breakfast on the beach. And so I saw the chef, you know, packing up, and I went and I looked. And I said, okay, so many people we have, this is what we have. So we did bread pizzas, okay? So we slice the bread and then we top it up. And I said to her, I said, I think they may want more than 2 slices. So we had some extra. I said, okay, whoever want extras, we will see it would have available. However, the folks too, when they saw 2 slices allotted to them, they wondered about, you know, this thing smelled so good, looked so good, with cheesy top and everything, they're going to be hungry. However, by the time you had one, you're like walking around, okay, I think I have a little bit more room. By the time you had the second slice of bread, full stop. You're full and you want to stop. And it's because, you know, the bread is so filling. I tell you, the loaf feels heavy. And when you eat it, you are full. And so that's the thing, you know, when you have fiber in your food, that it really fills you. It's all healthy items, and it's going to work well with your body as opposed to refined foods, refined grains or refined carbohydrates. The fiber really helps. Now, let's take a look at legumes. And here we have a range of legumes. Don't they look pretty? Yeah, and they're little seeds that God has sent for us to cook and to eat them up. And when we eat these legumes, they're going to help us to get various minerals. And you know, you take the garbanzo beans here, or some folks call it chana, and that is rich in folic acid and very helpful for our health in terms of wound care recovery, and for the brain, you know, it's one of the B vitamins, and for the nervous system, folic acid, and the lentils, the good old faithful lentils in the brown, red, and yellow. This is mung bean. Mung bean is a type of soy, and this is some kind of black, strange bean. All right, and so all of these things, no matter everywhere you go around the world, you can find some bean to eat. Now, fruits and vegetables, we want to have a wide variety of them over a course of time, and make sure you eat whole these foods in their natural state, even better. For you to eat it. Lots of options wherever you are. Find fruit, whatever fruit is in season, eat them up, and they're going to be beneficial for you. Some of these fruits can have benefits like antioxidant. Grapes carry resveratrol, good for the immune system. Papaya, excellent for bowel issues. Yeah, if you have stomach, any digestive tract issues, you find papaya helps. Why? It has enzymes in here called papain that works really nicely. Similarly, pineapple has bromelain, and that works nicely as well for enzymes that would help in digesting the food. And the pineapple with the bromelain is excellent for individuals with arthritis pain. So eat the pineapple, especially the core of it, the little toughy part, try and chew it up. And there's where the bromelain is at. So in even the seeds in the papaya, good for parasites. So folks will sort of bite on the seed. It has a peppery taste, spicy taste, but it's excellent. Guava is great in vitamin C. And this is called an apple. So local fruits, these citrus, whatever might be local to you, eat them. They're going to be beneficial. You're going to enjoy your food. And, you know, and this can be good. Now, here are some others. You have tomatoes, cucumbers, okra, eggplant, not here, pumpkin, and coriander peppers, and so forth. All of these are other options that you can have. Now, these are examples of fruit, and I want to interject a principle here. Fruits, Genesis 1:11. When I say Genesis 1:11 talks about the fruit-yielding tree whose seed is within itself. So if you examine this seed within its fruit, pineapple, once they're ripe properly and not picked prematurely, has little black dots in their seeds. And so they seeds and these are fruit. Now, what about these? Are there seeds on the inside? Don't you see the seed here too? These are also botanically fruits. And any nutrition book will attest to this fact that they are fruits. Now, we literally like to say, fruit, veggies, and we think fruits of only the sweet kind. I want to let you know that there are savory fruits as well. And so these are in the fruit category. Now, here we have lots of berries that are great for antioxidants, vitamin C, and fiber. If you live where you have berries, then make good use of them. Okay. Now, citrus. There are a wide range of citrus foods, and don't they look pretty? Okay, so let's look at vegetables. These are vegetables. Do you see seeds on the inside? No. These are vegetables. This is what was spoken of in Genesis 3:18 when it was introduced into man's diet. Before that, it was food for the animals. And therefore, as we eat them, we still get lots of nutrients from them. Beta carotene in your carrots, and the calcium you can get from all of these green leafy. Where do you think the cow gets its calcium from? It's eating up greens, lots of greens every day. And then when the milk is produced, calcium shows up in the milk. So when we eat our vegetables, we too get calcium, and that's great for our bone, for our heart health, our teeth. There are many individuals where their teeth just break on them. You know, the teeth break just like that. It's because they can be deficient in calcium. Need to eat more greens to build up your blood count and your blood supply. So let's be friends with that. All right, so I pulled this from some cancer slides that we have. So just as an FYI, a lot of individuals are coming down with cancers these days. And just to note that when you're on a better diet, that you do phenomenally better and improve with, you know, various forms of cancers. And these can also be prevented if you were on a plant-based diet. All right, so nutrition contributes to, poor nutrition contributes to getting some of these cancers, and they're showing you the percentage. So when it comes to cancers, it's nutrition, but environmental factors as well, and certain exposures to carcinogens. So just from a nutritional standpoint, you can save yourself from many of these cancers, stomach, esophageal, liver, mouth, lung, cervical, etc. Now, rainbow colors, you've always heard about foods that are like the rainbow, and let's eat our colors. Literally, you can do this. Wide variety, our land is not short for food. So go to find them where they are in the marketplace, and you would be able to get an abundance. Now, here are some counsels. Eat a diet rich in fruits and vegetables as part of an overall healthy diet. This reduces the risk of heart disease, including heart attack and stroke. So week before, I asked individuals to place into the chat a number of disease conditions that they are interested in. And so many came in, sharing, tell us what's good for this, what's good for the others. We will speak about those over course of time. So if you are looking about to look at heart disease, a diet rich and in a high amount of fruits, you're looking at vegetables, that's part of your diet. Unfortunately, there are individuals who do not eat vegetables. There are individuals who do not eat fruits. There are individuals who do not drink water. And we would encounter them. And when you see them, it's because they have a disease condition. And then they have to start to eat the fruits and eat the vegetables, and they don't know how to do that. So we're going to show you. And so we want to increase fiber in our diet as well. So remember last week we looked at a diagram where we looked at it, sort of showcased like obesity, and we talked about diet, lifestyle and diet and genetics can play a role in chronic health condition that you can just increase in your illness. Think about this person just loaded with conditions. And then if you made a change, that could be reversed and you can move away from being in the hot seat, red hot seat, and make changes to that same diet and lifestyle and your genetics. Your genes can be reprogrammed, your genes can be rewritten, and you can end up with having health and improved health. So that's what we want to have. So as we look at some foods here now, let's see what are some of the things that we would want to put into our baskets when we go shopping. So you can add these, and this list is not exhaustive. It's very limited just for our conversation here today. And so think about celery. That's so excellent for high blood pressure issues. You can eat the celery. Some folks would juice it along with some carrot, and that's excellent for the blood, for your cardiovascular system, for the blood pressure. And beetroots, great for detoxifying the liver. And so you can do the beetroots, you can eat it, boil it, eat it. It also helps to improve your blood, your red blood cells. We want to have broccoli, for example, excellent in calcium. And in indole 3-carbinol, which is a cancer-fighting compound that when the broccoli is cooked, and when you eat that, it similarly with it's found in cabbage too. And when you eat that, it can prevent precancerous cells from getting malignant. We have all of the cruciferous family. They also contain sulforaphane and indole 3-carbinol I just mentioned. So these help to protect your DNA, build your immune system, help you to fight off infection and other diseases. We have the good old pak choy or bok choy. Here you got some lettuce and eat up. This week here at the center, we had 1 day of fasting. And when we broke the fast, I said, we're going to do some lettuce. So I told the chef, let's just give everybody a plate of lettuce. So she got plates and she put the lettuce on the plate and wrapped it and then had it covered. So when they went to the food point to get their meal and they lifted the cover, there was this plate of lettuce. Well, I just heard that the faces dropped. I mean, they were like fasting, starving, maybe, and just looking forward to their food. And then they just saw this plate full of lettuce. Well, their faces sort of like were questionable. Somebody said, is this all? And of course, there were some other foods coming along with that. But just to eat a whole lettuce, eat an entire cucumber. Sometimes I'll just wash a cucumber and just put it in my mouth and start biting into it and just eating. You're getting all that fiber, it's juicy, and you're getting what you need, just to be in your system. Cucumber is also excellent for lowering blood sugar. So if you're a diabetic, eat your cucumber. And when you slice it up, a little slice, you want to take a little portion. No, tell yourself, I am going to eat an entire cucumber. Okay, and you sit down and you eat that cucumber. And then you go on to the rest of your meal. So all these nice rich colors of yellow and carrots and so forth, they're great in beta carotene. Ginger and turmeric, they're anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, preventing tumor growth and killing those cancerous cells and so forth. Onions and garlic, excellent. Onions, great for respiratory issues. And just to mention, even the turmeric and the ginger, they are very helpful and in reducing inflammation. Individuals with arthritis situations, you can use the turmeric and make it like a tea, boiling it a little bit, simmer in some hot water for about 15 minutes, and then let it cover, and you can drink that as a tea. But garlic and onions are excellent for any respiratory issues or infection in the blood. They can be blended and with water and drink that to help with blood infections. Banana and plantain and all the various forms of it. These are fantastic. You get potassium. When they're green like this, it's more of a carbohydrate compound, and folks do take these items and pound them or boil them and eat it as a main source of carb. Do you know breadfruit? Yeah, breadfruit, it's like the native and national plant, national food in St. Vincent, for example. And breadfruit is something that's quite nice. When it comes to the scientific data on breadfruit, it is said that that would be an excellent substitute for bread. Yeah, so if you want to be gluten-free, from staying away from wheat and so forth, breadfruit could be the item for you as you stay away from bread. And we have here avocado. Some folks just love the avocado. This one is really pretty and nice. And that avocado can lower your cholesterol. It's also low in glycemic index for our diabetics. Okra, this is another item that's excellent too, even for stomach issues when they're younger. And you eat that, individuals who have like a burning stomach, they can eat that and get relieved. Pineapple, we showed. Mangoes, who love mangoes? And yeah, they're quite excellent. Everybody loves mangoes. Oranges, nice lycopene here in your tomatoes. So when cooked, it increases in lycopene, and it's excellent for fighting cancers of the breast, of the prostate, and colon. And so you want to use your tomatoes, eat some raw, eat some cooked, and it will be phenomenal. Strawberry, antioxidants in here. Strawberry also is great for your intestinal tract, and it's a diuretic in nature, so it keeps your system really clear. This is a picture of brown rice up close, your beans, we talked about your nuts, your pecans, and your seeds. All right, so omega-3 fatty acids, this is chia seeds. They help to protect the cell wall membrane, and 2 teaspoons daily of chia seeds will be the required amount for your daily intake so that you have sufficient omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed is also another And so flaxseed would be great. If you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol levels, flaxseed, you gotta break that seed. That would go in and come right out. So you gotta break the seed to get the medicinal value, and just put it in a coffee grinder and break it down nicely, and it would be beneficial. So what's the measurement for the flaxseed? 2 tablespoons every day, and you add that, just put it on your peas, or some people make a blend smoothie drink, they can add it in that. But try and chew your food, eat your food, as opposed to doing a lot of these juicing. And then remember last week I shared a protein powder that included flaxseed in there. These are dates that can be used as a substitute for sweeteners. So staying away from sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and any artificial sugars out there. And use instead your dates. Excellent fiber in them and minerals. Note too that there are a variety of dates. One time I was out in Dubai. I was in Dubai, but we went to Abu Dhabi and we went into a date shop. Imagine a shop and you walk in and everything in there would be dates. And so there were different colors, shapes, and they had some snacky item, a date with an almond nuts inside. And that's something you can use as part of your holiday items, for your snack. Take dates, open them up, and stick an almond nut inside of it, or any other nut, your favorite nut of yours. And that's a really good option that is sweet and nutty and unique. So dates also have medicinal values. There's some of them that would help to increase your blood count. So they great minerals in them. So here's a statement coming from one of our textbooks, The Ministry of Healing. And it says, grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constitute a diet chosen for us by our Creator. These foods, when prepared in as simple and natural a manner as possible, are the most healthful and nourishing. They impart, what will they do when we have all of these? Our Creator created us, and the manufacturer of us said we need to eat these foods for the body. What will they do? They give us nourishment. It will give us strength. It will give you endurance. Have you met people who they do a little walk and they're tired? They do a little work and they're tired. They can't go for the long haul and long run because their endurance is limited. But when you eat these nice, healthful foods, I have someone here who said to me, I have been eating this food for over a little week. I've made all these changes and everything, and I feel lighter. And so the scale didn't really say that she was lighter, but just the feeling of no bloating, of no gas issues made her feel lighter and happier and so forth. And that's what the diet would do for you. Okay, note that animal foods, they have no fiber in them, but these foods do, and they seem to work really well for us, for our human systems. When it comes to intelligence, you see like Daniel and his friends in the book of Daniel in the Holy Bible, and you read there in the first chapter, second chapter, Daniel and his friends, they ate plant foods and they ate legumes, and they were intelligent. Nobody else in the entire kingdom of Babylon could have touched them. They were brilliant men. And the king observed that. He tested them himself. And all because their diet were different. They went through the same schooling like their colleagues and everything, but their diet stood out. That was different. And so their intelligence was supreme. And therefore, these foods are what we should have. So here's a plate, and let's take a look. When it comes to your breakfast and your lunch, I want us to have something that is quite substantial. There are individuals for their breakfast, they have a smoothie. There are individuals for their breakfast, they will have a slice of bread and cheese. There are individuals who will have eggs, scrambled eggs and a bake or a roti or something like that. there are individuals who will eat sort of something called doubles. Now, doubles is why it have two flour base, one on top and one underneath, and inside have some peas, and it tastes real nice. You know, folks would say, and they line up and they're waiting for the doubles. But that is not breakfast. You know, folks, that's not breakfast. You want something. What about the fruit? What about the vegetables? You know, what about preparing these things in a healthy way so that we don't get sick for it? So let's choose. Let's see. For your breakfast, you want to start off your day. You are going to have so many hours. Remember, we're eating for endurance. We're eating for intellect. You're eating for health. So when we have to eat like that, you're going to have a breakfast. Let's eat well. It said, let's eat breakfast like a king or a queen, lunch like a prince or a princess, and supper like a pauper. So when we're eating the first meal of the day, let us fuel up. If you had to get into a plane and fly to the other side of the world, you want to make sure that your aircraft is fuel up. You don't want to hear in the midst of the aircraft, oh, sorry, we are out of fuel. That will horrify you. So when you are starting up your day, fuel up for your day. Okay, don't take a little bit of something and then crashing in the midst of the day. That's why people snack. That's why they will snack, because the morning meal is not filling. When we serve up our meals, we always, for the breakfast, you have something raw. So most times we will do fruit. You could do a veggie meal and you bring in lettuce in the morning, but most times we will do fruit. So we can have pineapple. So that day when we went to the beach and people, oh, did I tell you, when they ate the 2 slices of the pizza, they were full. They had to go and take the digestive walk to work out that belly. Before they had that, they had pineapple. Okay, so if you're wondering, they had pineapple, and then they had the slices of pizza, and some were saying, I don't even know if I can eat my nuts, you know, because we had little packets of nuts and seeds, like a trail mix for them, and they just nibbled on it as they went on to walk, and that filled them until like about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is like 8 o'clock in the morning. So that filled them. They wasn't even, they said, well, let's not eat a full lunch. Let's just do fruits for lunchtime, or, you know, something light, because they felt so full. So the thing is, you say, for example, I'll show you pictures, but if you had your fruit and then half of the plate you can have cooked item, maybe you have pumpkin stew, squash, or eggplant or something, and then here you can have your slice of bread, or you can have some quinoa, or some corn, or some brown rice, or you can do your root items. So some folks call it provisions. So if you see this word here, provisions, it's like root items, like your yam, okay, or eddos or taro, they call it dashin. And then the next quarter of your plate, you have your proteins, your peas, your beans, or organic tofu can come into here. And then you have your fats, which will be a close handful of nuts and seeds. Now you have steamed vegetables. We want our vegetables to be steamed, cooked, and not eaten raw. And we'll get through some of those principles in our other segments. But just as a heads up, try and eat your vegetables cooked, because they tend to give you more nutrients. They also protect your body from various health issues. For example, if you eat cabbage raw, like you grate your cabbage and you eat that, and you repeatedly eat it because you love the salad with the cabbage or kale or broccoli and so forth, and you're eating those things raw or semi-raw, it will attack your thyroid gland. It will force and rob your thyroid gland from getting iodine. So your thyroid gland needs iodine, but those foods of the cabbage family tends to rob the body and rob that thyroid gland from absorbing iodine. And then you end up having iodine deficiency conditions like overweight, fatigue, or goiters. And therefore, that's why we would steam to help to reduce the goitrogenic effect, to help that we would eat those items and not be bloated or gassy, because a lot of folks, when they eat those raw vegetables, they tend to get bloated almost immediately, and their belly hurts. So we would steam it. And yeah, so here's a plate. So many different options for your seeds in the corner and nuts, your protein, your carbs, have your choices of fruit and your veg. You can also make some nice blends. This is really creamy. Even babies love this mix of bananas, avocado, and a little water to get it creamy and nice. Here's a mango season. You know, eat some, drink some mangoes. You can put a 1/4 cup of cashew nuts or just a hand. Too sweet, you can add just a little honey. However, you can have it plain, just a little water. Make it nice and creamy, and be so dandy as to put it into a toasting glass. All right. So, oh my. Just as an FYI, as we're looking at some drinks, I just showed you some blends and drinks. There are many individuals who are getting colds and flus these days, and this is a nice recipe here that can help. This worked excellently in the COVID era, and COVID is still with us in varied forms. And so turmeric, ginger, garlic, onion, lemon, honey, water. And when you take the measurements, just pay attention here. And that helps to boost the immune system, and also to take away colds and flu. And I would take this and I'd sort of like, you see, 2 cups of hot water, and that sort of breaks that sharp taste like in your gullet. Steam it for a little 5 minutes and then do the blend so you don't get because not everybody could tolerate the garlic and the onions. But if you blend it up thoroughly and nice, you don't have to strain it. You can drink it just as is. For me, I had a really fancy way of doing this when I got COVID. I added some more lemon, more water, and more honey, but I drank everything in the day. And of course, my quantities would have been greater than the 2 cups. But I made it like a juice, and it was tasting good, and it was my medicine. And it did help indeed to get rid of the virus and flu. So this is something that you can work with. Now, back to the plate. I see the bread here, and then you can have some lentils, and then you have tomatoes. You can eat tomatoes raw, you can make it like a stew, and or a salsa. And so you have your carbohydrates, your protein item, and your fruit item. And you end your meal always with a handful. Now, a closed handful. Very, very important. You know, folks, it's a closed handful of your nuts and seeds. When somebody the other day here at the center actually poured out some of nuts and seeds into a bowl, and then I came by and I said, oh no, you're gonna just create a heart attack for you. That is too much. And I actually divided it and got like 3 portions. And, you know, so all part of learning, it's a closed handful, not an open handful. You don't want to overdo on even that which is healthy. Okay, so the fat's nice, but keep it simple. Look at this. You can have bananas and you can have plantain. This could be boiled or baked. and then you can have your rice, your brown rice, you could have your beans, and some cashew nuts to end. Doesn't this look simple? This can be for breakfast. Yeah, this can be for breakfast. Now, guys, if you have any questions, please, you just ask your questions, and we'd be happy to respond. You can eat this way for breakfast. This is what we do here at the center, and why individuals would not feel hungry until 5 hours later will be their next meal. And you know, the body, when it gets into a routine, into a habit, you will be good. But when the hour reach for 2 p.m., they now begin to feel hungry and on time, because your body loves routine and your body has been set into this pattern and routine, and it works nice. So here we have some rice, some beans, and your choice of greens, and you have some lettuce and have your choice of greens, and then you have some nuts to end. Okay, so let's say you had potatoes, your beans, and then you had tomato mixed with eggplant and make a nice stew. And you had avocado at the start. Okay. Right, that one is similar. Papaya for your raw. So notice we're always having a raw food item to start. A raw food item to start. So we want to have papaya, and then you can have cucumbers with some more raw, and with a squash that you cooked up in some nice form. And then this could be like a basmati rice, which would look a little brown. And then you have your peas, your protein. So you see carbohydrate, protein, and then your fiber on this side. Pumpkin seeds to end the meal. Okay, so this is an example of what we just looked at, written down 2 examples for breakfast and for lunch. And then if you had a supper time, it would be papaya. Something simple, just a fruit, and that can be quite filling. In the morning, first thing when you wake up, drink water. You go for warm water, 2 to 4 glasses of very warm water. You can feel the warmth going down your stomach, and then you can add lemon juice to it. And if you add lemon juice to one of those glasses, you end up with lemon water. A glass of it is sufficient, but use a straw when you're drinking up your lemon water. And that straw to drink will protect the enamel of your teeth. Yeah. This person has the lemon water, but if it's just in the morning, that's fine. But I don't like the concept of having this all through the day, because you're exposing your teeth to that acid all the time. Your teeth will edge you. Your dentist will know that something is wrong with the enamel of your teeth. They will see it and they will ask you what you're doing. And it can, cause damage to your teeth. It can cause your teeth to break down and rot. So make sure you're using a straw when you're drinking lemon. All right. In the morning, you don't really need a snack. You can drink a herbal tea. That will be safe. And you would be able to have something. Sometimes, depending on your condition, you may be recommended to have certain teas to drink, like a turmeric tea, for example, or something to cleanse your blood and the liver, like red clover, burdock, miltitzel, any one of those. And you can have that in between breakfast and lunch. Okay, so have you ever seen sweet potato? That is really nice and pretty. And then say you had sweet potato, lentils, and here's a nice, delicious eggplant baked in some cheese sauce and herbs with tomatoes. Oh, this looks so yummy and delicious. I think I want to try to do that. And then tomatoes, you can have it raw. So right here, you can eat this for breakfast. When you eat like this for breakfast, you're not going to feel hungry so soon. If you ate this for lunch, you're going to be so satisfied. You don't want food until the next morning, literally. And by evening, like right now, I had my food like between 2 and 3, and I still feel satisfied. I am definitely not hungry. All I'd need for the rest of the night is simply water, and that's it. And that's how you can have your meals spaced out. and you're able not to have indigestion going on, time to sleep, your stomach is clear, no food there, and you have better quality of sleep through the night. You have your melatonin that's produced into the night and keep you sleeping for longer. Okay, herbal teas. Okay, here's another picture. All right, somebody asked, what about apple cider vinegar? And I guess when you heard me talking about the lemon water, it caused you to think about apple cider vinegar. Now, individuals would say they're using apple cider vinegar for a varied purpose. Maybe it's to lose weight, it's to manage cholesterol levels, it's to do different things, you know. However, God's substitute for that is lemon, and the lemons will be given to individuals, and they would do well with it without having any issues. Today I was actually talking to the folks here at the center about apple cider vinegar. Now I have a book in my hand, and I'm not sure how you can see it. Okay. Because I'm sharing screen, but I'll still hold it up. I don't know. Yeah, so in the lemon, yeah, so in the apple cider vinegar. So this book, Encyclopedia of Foods and Their Healing Power, actually talks about apple cider vinegar and what it's made from. It has acetic acid, and you know, it can when individuals consume it, it can do several things to the body. Now, it can erode your dental enamel, right? Because it breaks down the calcium phosphate of your teeth and of your bones. So we need to be careful with the apple cider vinegar. And yes, somebody told me today, you mean the one with the mother? I said, yes, the one with the mother. The apple cider vinegar can also cause your red blood cells to burst, and therefore you will be anemic. Okay, so you can have anemia. So it's not something that we should be consuming at all, because there are side effects from it, and it can also erode your dental enamel and do so many other things. However, if you ate the lemon or drank the lemon juice, then those things don't happen. Those things don't happen to you. You find that the lemon juice will become alkaline into your system, and that will be beneficial. It also breaks the mucus barrier of your stomach, and that is a nice mucus barrier that keeps your stomach working well, that you can have hydrochloric acid in your stomach and you don't feel the burning sensation. And but vinegar tends to break that down. And so if individuals end up with stomach pain, heartburn, and it certainly can cause gastritis. This Encyclopedia of Foods, page 337 by Dr. George Pamplona Rogers. And you can read up, there's a section there all about vinegar, and as a condiment, but not one that is recommended because of the risks to it. So when individuals, all the benefits that they're looking for getting in apple cider vinegar, they can definitely achieve that by using the lemon water and having good dietary habits. Okay, that would solve their problem. All right, so let's see. All right, have a handful of, okay, Sister Ramin is responding to someone. Yeah, I don't even know if my video is showing. Okay.
Yes, it is showing.
So maybe because I have the background. Buck. I have a green screen background, so it probably didn't pick up the book. Okay, thank you. Okay, so there we have this nice plate of some wild rice and some stewed beans and your carrots. You can steam. If I did steam my carrot, just steam it whole and then I can cut it up. But this might be pretty bland unless I'm pouring it over this. It gets mixed up. I may make a salad dressing on the side, and then I can toss this in it just to make it more flavorful. But depending on your situation and the time, you may just want to boil and eat. You know, this week somebody was telling me, I don't know how to cook vegetables. I said, well, just boil and eat until you learn how to. Until we come and show you how to. But just be safe, you know, just boil and eat and you'll be okay. And then we'll help you to learn how to cook. The name of the encyclopedia, Encyclopedia of Foods and the Healing Power by Dr. George Pampaloma Rogers. Pampalona Raja. He's a medical doctor, and he also sat on the on an American committee rather, that sort of set up the nutritional panel for nutrient content. So very experienced gentleman. You can talk if you have call porters in your area. You can talk to them and they can help you find this book. If you have an Adventist book center in your area, in your city, they should be able to have, it's a volume, 3 volumes, and they have volume 1 that you can get that information about foods there. Okay. Supper. What do we have for supper? Papaya. Excellent. Nice option. You just have a bowl of this and you'd be good. You'd be fine. It's something that it's not harsh on your stomach, you know, to cause burning sensation. It's very mild, and especially because of the enzyme pain in it. And if you ate it in the evening, you know, by 6, eat between 6 and 6:30 for your evening meal. Eating after 6:30 will stop the production of melatonin, which is a hormone that gives you restful sleep. So if you ate papaya, it also helps. It's great for your intestines. And so you get nice bowel movement the next morning, especially when you drink that warm water and add lemon to it. You're going to get a good, nice flush. And that's really healthy. So supper, here's a statement coming from another textbook of ours, Counsels on Diets and Foods. And it says, supper, when taken at an early hour, interferes with the digestion of the previous meal. And when taken later, it is not itself digested before bedtime. So if you take supper too late, it's not digested and you're ready to sleep. Thus, the stomach fails of securing proper rest. The sleep is disturbed. Do you wake up in the night and have difficulty to go back into sleep? What time is your last meal? And as you get older, past 40 years, your digestion slows down. So that's why folks can do better on 2 meals as opposed to 3. And the sleep is disturbed, the brain and nerves are weary, the appetite for breakfast is gone, you're not feeling hungry the next morning, and you feel more fatigued because your sleep was disturbed. When we lay down to rest, we want our food to be all digested and not that we carry it into the sleeping hours. So between 6 and 6:30 will be a good time for supper. For the evening meal, as I showed you, just some plain simple fruit will be good. You don't want to have vegetables and you don't want to have fats, you know, in the evening meal. These things will take long to be digested. So I don't have a salad of veggies in the evening. You can have a papaya salad, you know, and just eat some fruit. Apples is another one that's really mild on the stomach and good for your GI tract, and it's a safe item. If you had bread, like I had someone here, as I mentioned earlier, who needed to have a supper. And I said, okay, no, the bread, the more dry it is, the easier it is for digesting. Yeah, quicker to be digested. And then we had some light pumpkin to go with that. Okay, you can do this as well. Half bananas. If you see it's close to bedtime and you're feeling a little hungry, maybe because you are dehydrated or your day didn't go too well as planned for food intake, just drink some cold water and go and sleep. Okay, you would feel happier the next morning if you did that. Drink some cold water and go and sleep. That would help. If you can't do the cold, just room temperature is fine. But the thing with the cold is that it shuts down your digestion, and so you don't feel hungry. Okay, so we will do this meal spacing thing another time. Fasting is another option. Not all this food. Sometimes you want to take a fast. But if you skipped one meal, and that can be a fast for you. So say if we did breakfast at 8 and lunch at 2, and then the next day you skipped breakfast and you simply come back at 2, that's going to be a 24-hour fast. Yeah, so that's an option at times to help clear the system. All right, so let me just look at the plate here and what would we put on the plate. And let me stop sharing with you, change the screen to something else. And I will just share and do a little write-up here to help you get some ideas. And it's because many of you made contributions to that request, but because we were running the program here at the center, I really didn't get to work on this as I wanted to. And therefore, I'm just gonna go through some of the suggestions and see how we put this plate together. Now, you're free to make contributions, ask questions, and see how this works. Now, peaches. This person suggested when we asked for fruit and nuts and seeds and so forth. Peaches, bananas, chickpea, pistachio, walnuts, collard greens, and broccoli. Okay, good. So we're seeing some fruit here. We're seeing some broccoli, that's a veggie. So here's what we can do. We can have peaches and banana as our raw item to start off with. So let's say for our raw, we give a green. Okay, then we need to get a carbohydrate. Do you have any suggestion, everybody? What carbs could we go put here with chickpeas? Let's see, are you talking? Unmute.
Rice.
Rice. Okay, so let's get some brown rice. Yeah, brown rice. Thank you. So let's get some brown rice and we put that brown, let's say yellow. Okay, then we have chickpeas. So this is our legumes. And so we give that color. And then you end your meal with nuts and seeds. Okay, and right there is one meal put together. Simple, and this is what you would call a fruit plate, sort of, because of the peaches. So this might be something that you would want to consider for a breakfast. Now, you can add one more thing here, because looking at a plate, if we had this from raw, if you had sufficient, like somebody told me this week, I feel like eating bananas, and she ate like about 3-4 bananas one time. So if you had sufficient like that, then that's fine. But you may have one banana, a peach, or 2 bananas, a peach, and you can still have room to add something in here. Maybe you want to add some squash. Right? If you put in a squash in there and you cooked it up nicely, then that's going to be helpful to you. So you have a squash, and that's what. So if we were to take the same concept here and do a veg meal, let's start off with some lettuce, because lettuce we can eat raw. And then we take the same brown rice, chickpeas, and put that there. And instead of squash, let's change it out for the collard and broccoli. So we're gonna remove this and change it up. And right there, we got another plate. See? Does that make sense? So this is an exercise that I did with the folks over the past 2 days, where we had them sort of write up their menus. And right in one row, they were identifying some veggie and fruit. So here you have fruit. You can do this for breakfast, and you can do that for lunch. So there are times when you would cook your chickpeas like in a slow cooker. And if you did that, you wake up in the morning and you put your seasonings the night before, and then you wake up in the morning and the home is filled with the aroma of peas and it smells so good. And well, you know, what do you season with? Some onions and garlic, your pink Himalayan sea salt. You might add cumin to it, so a little turmeric, you know, a little piece of ginger, something to give it nice flavor, and your food smells so good. Or you can take some tomato, this one chickpeas. If it's lentils, I'll take some tomato paste and then add my little seasonings to it, make your own ketchup, and you add it to your plate, to your food. You cook it in a slow cooker overnight. Your brown rice, you can put that in a rice cooker. And so your rice and your peas all done. All you need to do is just get a fruit, plural, get some fruits, get your lettuce and your collard and broccoli. Now, if you had to cook, stand up in the kitchen and cook these items, cook both meals at the same time, you know, rather than go in the morning and then you're going back again. Cook both meals at the same time. So when you have your one pot running with the collard and the broccoli, you have another pot going with your squash, and that's it. These two items prepared in a pot, rice cooker, slow cooker, and lettuce is raw, peach and banana is raw, and you would be out of there having 2 meals and you're done. Sometimes we do this in our home, early morning, you know, between 5 and 6, and you cook 5, 6, 7, and you cook, and that's it. You have the entire day to yourself to do whatever errands you want, you know, whatever you want to do, and that works really well. Do you have a question? Okay. Slice of whole grain bread. Okay, you're making a suggestion. We can add that. Oatmeal, I see oatmeal here next. Oatmeal is really good and an option to have. Sometimes, along with the pistachio nuts and walnuts, I might just have some granola to end, and that would really keep you full. Yep. So, pearl couscous and oatmeal. Okay, so this may be, somebody just dropped that in the chat. All right, let's choose another one. Pumpkin nut, lettuce. So you put lettuce here in the next line. Quinoa and black bean, great. So I'm just showing you how you can just switch things around by having a fruit option and a veggie. Okay, pumpkin seeds and cashew. So that's your item. And so what we can put in here can be pumpkin. We need a veggie. We need a vegetable here. Let's just say, so think about colors now. So quinoa, sort of off-white, black beans, so white, black. What do you think could go and make this pretty here? Anybody's, maybe some green, black, green, black and white. Think about your colors on your plate too.
Carrots?
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, so you can have a nice carrot stew. So let's go carrots. Good. So this would be a carrot stewed up. Again, you can have your seasonings in the base of the pot. You put some water, you have your carrots cut up and you cover it and you simmer. Just let it simmer and all the seasonings and so forth will just make its way into the carrots. And you also don't want it to be dried out. So you can do carrots. You can also have carrots plus celery. Like the big long celery, you cut it up and you can put that to make a thing. And then I might take a pumpkin seed and make a pumpkin seed dressing and just pour that over the carrot and the celery, and it's really creamy and nice to go along with this. So cashews and pumpkin seeds. Okay, so that goes.
Dr. Nash, what about kale in that meal?
Kale.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or broccoli?
You can do yeah, so you can change on this carrot and you can put kale, you can put broccoli. You can have the carrots and some pieces of kale in there, so you get a nice orange and green combination, and the kale is sort of leafy. Now, kale could be really tough, so make sure your kale is cooked properly. All right, we don't want hard kale or else we'll be chewing and can't swallow this fiber yet. That means it's not well done. So make sure that the kale is cooked. Okay, let's see one more. So I don't know if you beans. Okay, now one similar because we have black bean, cashew, rice, quinoa. Okay, so this can come here. And that would be the other one. Broccoli, chia seeds. Put that there. So just to give you guys an idea, and that's how we make up the food. So individuals just had all these thoughts and ideas and just threw it into the chat, and on we can make up these menus. Not really hard. So notice we have lettuce. For our vegetables, lettuce tend to be succulent because of the water content. You can chew lettuce easily. You don't have any issues with it being too fibrous. It will not cause bloating. So anytime you have heavy fibers, it can cause bloating if it's raw, when you eat it raw. So that's why we choose lettuce as our raw item. You can have broccoli. Think about a plate, half on the plate with the broccoli, and then quinoa, black beans, and your meal, cashew, and with some chia in there. This. Here we're missing something. Maybe here we can do the plantain. And I like to bake. Yeah. All right, so right here you have two sets again. So I hope that gives you some ideas about what you can have for your food. But we can't end the evening without incorporating mango, because when that is in season, everybody loves mango. But we wouldn't mix the mango with, now we're not mixing our fruits and our vegetables in the same meal, all right, on the same plate, because it can cause indigestion. And wild rice. So we need a bean in here. Maybe lima bean. Can do pumpkin seed on its own. Wild rice, lima bean. And if mango is in season, or this person don't want to stop eating mangoes. Hope you're not a diabetic. So you can have some mango as a main goal. And here you have your lettuce. You've got cabbage, nice. And what else we need? We can just have this here, repeat. Or you can do something different for your lunch. If you had that for breakfast, then for your lunch, you can change out this wild rice. Let's go for like a sweet potato. Yeah, then you can have your lettuce and cabbage, your sweet potato with beans, and your pumpkin seeds to end. Yeah, or you can do sunflower seeds to end, a handful, and right there. Okay, so folks, does it look simple to you? And I'll drop all of these little examples. So healthy plates, what you guys contributed to healthy plate examples. Okay, and we just drop that into the chat and you will have that. This one is incomplete. Okay, and you'll have that to look at. Okay, so question, is it doable? What do you think? Is it hard? I hope not. It's not, it's quite simple when you come to think about it. So we will show you, keep showing you different plates over time as we bring it up in disease topics and conditions. Okay. No, it's good. All right, just to read, Abigail, read sharing here. It's good and it's easy. And how do you know what to cook? So that question we started off with. What do I cook for breakfast, lunch, and supper? Okay, let's put in a supper. If we wanted to have a supper, we can have, okay, this next person here had pineapple. Pineapple, maybe. It wouldn't be my first choice for supper. I really prefer something mild because pineapple can have a really strong taste and not everybody it would agree with. Some folks are allergic, but some folks find it might irritate their throat. So I'll say have something mild. Let me just put this back here. For supper, my suggestion, you can have a mango. Mangoes. Supper. You can have apples. Apples are really mild for a supper. When I say mild, it's not going to hurt your stomach and it's really digestive, happy. You know, apples would work really good because of the pectin in it and it's light in terms of the taste. Not even grapes. I don't like grapes in the evening because you're chewing on the seed, on the skin. And then that skin could take a long while to be digested. And so by the time you go to sleep, you find that your stomach could burn you during the night. So, or papaya. Or you can have cucumbers. You may do it without the skin. Just think of anything that would be tough, taking long to digest. You don't want that. So cucumbers without skin. I mean, all the nutrients is there, but yeah, so these things are really light. And then okay, see some messages coming in. Let's see. Melon. Okay, someone wants melon. That can work. I like cantaloupes too. How is it? Okay, that's all. Yeah, these are good. And even what about dragon fruit? That's really nice. If you had that for supper, if you had it for a supper, it works really good. It's digestive friendly, and bowel friendly, and so forth. So anything with water content that's juicy and nice, you can have this. Or another option for a supper. Remember, we talk about toasted bread. So make sure your bread is toasted. The more dry it is, the better, easier it is for digestion. So toasted bread with pumpkin stew. Just that simple. Don't add beans and all of those things. All the skin in the beans, all of that will take long to be digested. Protein, you have to form hydrochloric acid and all kind of stuff to break down that protein. So you don't need all the protein in the evening. And so individuals who eat late in the night and eat full plates and eat their dinner heavy could run into problems. And that's why you see you have digestive issues. So you rally as the sun sets, everything slows down, So you want to work well with your body and don't have these issues going on. Toasted bread with pumpkin stew. You can also do toasted bread. Bread with fruit spread. So you can make your own fruit spread by blending fruit. So if you have strawberries, you can make your own strawberry jam. I don't want too much sugar in the evening. But it could be just add dates. So there's a recipe we do with dates and pineapples. Just blend them together and you can get a spread, but it's very sweet. But children might like that. So you can do this. Another example could be a cup of oatmeal. Not watery, not too liquidy, because I find if you had too many liquid food items, that too can take long to digest because your stomach have to first absorb the liquid before it works on breaking down the solids. So just have a nice cup of oatmeal and that can be fine. Fruit and oatmeal could be good. So let's see, like apples and a cup of oatmeal. And that would take you. And granted, let's say you had a nice healthy breakfast, a nice healthy lunch meal, and you just wanted something light for the supper time. Now, that would not be an 8 and 2 like what we do here at the center. If you had a breakfast and a lunch and a supper, you're looking for different timing. You were looking to have, oh, and let me tell you one time because let's change. Okay, somebody is asking, what about almond butter to go with that toast? No, because the almond is fat content and that would be taking long to digest. All right, it's going to take long to digest. So at breakfast, for you to have those 3 meals, you need a breakfast between 6 and 7 a.m. That will give us 5 hours later. Why do we have 5 hours? Because it can take about 4 hours to digest your food. 4, maybe 4.5 to digest your meal for breakfast. And then you want a little space in before your lunch meal. So lunch between 12 and 1, and then your supper between 6 and 6:30. And you every meal day, and then we'll be ending. So if in the morning time you wake up early, you get up, say about 4. Some people like to get up 5. Maybe if you don't have to exercise early in the morning, you can get up a little later, maybe about 5:30. But you want time for worship, meditate, and pray, and sing, All of those things are good to set your day well, and you have happier days when you do. And then you exercise. So if you exercise in the morning early, especially if you want to lose weight, exercising early morning will help you to do that. And then your breakfast between 6 and 7. When you finish eat, when you are finished eating, you get up and walk. Walk around your home, walk around in front of the yard, back and forth in the room, around your bed, wherever, walk around. And that's your digestive walk. As you walk, you will find that fullness of the meal goes away. You don't feel stuffed. As you walk, you may hear little, babies when they drank milk in times past, you go tap their back and then you hear, boop. Yeah, big people, you do that too. When you take a digestive walk, everything sort of settles and you will digest nicely. So you do that a little 15 minutes walk around. It helps. Sometimes you may be eating and then you're feeling a pain in your abdomen and some gas want to get out. So if it is that you have that, drink some hot water before you eat and you'll belch, get the gas out, and then you eat. But if you ate and you feel a little achy in the belly, do the digestive walk and it clears, it helps. Then you have your lunch meal between 12 and 1, 5 hours after you stop eating, which that's why you finish at 7. Digestive walk again in the office, down the corridor, or just step outside and go around the block or 2 blocks and you come back and you'll be fine. And then for supper time in the evening between 6 and 6:30, you don't want to eat later than 6:30 to interfere with your sleep. And you want it to be at least 3 hours before bedtime for your supper to give yourself sufficient time to digest. So the supper being a light item, we can have. Do your digestive walk again, walk around. You might be sweeping, you might be doing some chore, but you're moving. And then you calm down with evening worship, devotion, prayer, read a little, from a book. And or some people like to do journals to reflect on their day, and a gratitude journal, thanking God for your day, and just recording that, and then you get to rest. So by the time you do this, you go to sleep, that would help you to be able to be refreshed the next morning. You certainly will wake up early and you go to bed. Now, if you're waking up 4, you need to go and sleep early, more closer to the 9:30, because you want to get at least 7 to 9 hours rest. 7, 8 hours rest time is what you're looking for. All right, so we'll pause here for now and for tonight. Helpful to you. Of course, it is recorded, and we will be sharing this on our YouTube channel. What is it? It's simply my name, Dr. Natalie Nash, for the YouTube. And yeah. So if you go over there, and then if you're on our chat, the WhatsApp group, you will be able to get I post the recording in there as well.